All right, let's get into it. Today, we're diving headfirst into the absolutely wild world of cryptocurrency, a place that can literally make you a millionaire overnight or wipe out your entire fortune just as fast. But to really get our heads around this, we've got to start with a kind of weird question. Forget about fancy five-star restaurants or super rare ingredients. What do you think is the single most expensive meal ever bought? The answer is over $600 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Not a typo. 600 million. And the craziest part? It was for 2 large pizzas. I mean, how on earth is that even possible? Well, that question, that's the key to this whole story.
See, that absolutely insane price tag is tied directly to the birth of Bitcoin. Way back when this whole internet money thing was basically considered a joke by pretty much everyone.
So picture this. It's 2010. A programmer named Laszlo Hannetz decides to make the first ever real-world purchase with Bitcoin. He gets on a forum and offers 10,000 of these weird internet coins to anyone who'll just order him 2 pizzas. Back then, that was worth maybe $40. But here's the kicker. If he just held on to those 10,000 coins, his pizza money would have peaked at over $600 million. And that pizza story, as crazy as it sounds, is the perfect example of this. Look at this climb. I mean, in the beginning, it was worth pennies. Then, boom, 2011, it hits $1. A couple years later, 1,000. Then you get this massive explosion to nearly 20 grand in 2017, before it topped out at an unbelievable $69,000 in 2021. Something that was literally a joke became one of the most valuable assets on the planet. And of course, that kind of explosion creates some truly wild stories. You've got guys like Eric Finman, who as a 12-year-old threw $1,000 into Bitcoin. By the time he was 18, a millionaire. These are the legends that built the crypto dream, right? This idea that anyone, absolutely anyone, could get in on the right coin at the right time and completely change their life. So you gotta be asking, how is this even possible? How do you get gains like that? Well, it's because the crypto market plays by a whole different set of rules. It's like a financial battlefield that never, ever closes. You know, the stock market has opening and closing bells. It takes weekends off. Crypto? No way. It never sleeps. It is on 24/7, 360. It can literally double in value while you're sleeping, and that creates this constant nagging feeling of FOMO, the fear of missing out. So what is actually moving these prices? Because it's not just your typical economics. This market runs on emotion. It's driven by hype, by fear, by rumors. You can have a single tweet from someone like Elon Musk send a total joke coin to the moon. Or, on the flip side, news of some government regulation can crash the entire market. It's this crazy place where pop culture, psychology, and money all just slam into each other at lightning speed. And in a market that's this chaotic, it's probably no surprise that people have found some really shocking ways to get rich. Yeah, there's not just one way to do it. You've got your day traders, right, trying to buy low and sell high every second. Then you've got the hodlers, that's HODL, who just buy big names like Bitcoin and hold on for dear life. You've got staking, which is kind of like earning super high interest by locking up your coins. And then you have the really wild stuff, flipping NFTs, digital art for insane profits, or just straight up gambling on meme coins. And speaking of those joke coins, let's talk about Dogecoin. This thing was literally created as a meme, a parody of Bitcoin. For years, it was worth nothing. But then in 2021, thanks to a ton of social media hype, it just exploded. We're talking a 12,000% increase. People who threw in a couple $100 for a laugh were suddenly looking at life-changing money. And that's how you end up with stories like this. It sounds like winning the lottery, right? But in crypto, it actually happened. And that is the dream that keeps pulling millions of people in, the hope that they'll be the next one. Okay, but here's the thing. For every one of those dream-come-true stories, there's an absolute nightmare waiting on the other side. Because that same wild energy that makes fortunes can wipe them out in an instant. This is the brutal dark side of it all. Just look at this chart. This tells a terrifying story. This is Terra Luna. It was a top 10 crypto, okay? People thought it was a safe bet. But in May of 2022, the whole thing just collapsed. 40 times billion dollars in value, gone. In a matter of days. People who put their life savings into this watched it go from $100 a coin to basically zero. And sometimes the danger isn't even the coin you buy, it's the place you keep it. FTX was one of the biggest, most trusted crypto exchanges in the world. I mean, they had celebrity ads, Super Bowl commercials, the whole deal. but it was a complete house of cards. When it all came crashing down in 2022, billions and billions of dollars of customer money was just gone. Frozen, lost, forever. And we have to remember, behind all these billions are real people. This quote from someone who got wiped out in the lunar crash, it just says it all. For every retired at 25 story, there's this. Someone who lost everything because they trusted the wrong people. So this all sounds terrifying, right? How do you even step into this battlefield without getting destroyed? Well, it really comes down to a few key survival rules. Let's call this your crypto survival kit. Rule number 1, the golden rule, is by far the most important. Only invest what you're fully prepared to lose. All of it. After that, it's smart stuff. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Actually learn about what you're buying instead of just chasing hype. And this is a big one. Learn to control your emotions. Don't let that FOMO or panic selling drive your choices. And this right here, this might be the most important crypto rule of all, especially after seeing what happened with FTX. What it means is, if you leave your crypto on an exchange, you don't really own it. They do. The only way to truly own your crypto is to control your own private keys, usually with a special hardware wallet. That's the only way you can be sure nobody can take it from you. So, okay, we've seen the insane highs, the devastating lows, the rules for how to stay safe. What are we left with? What is the big picture here? Where is all of this going? Is this whole thing just one giant risky casino, or is it a genuine revolution? Well, there are really two completely opposite ways of looking at the future of crypto. On one side, you have the true believers. They see this as the next version of the internet, something that's going to completely reinvent money through what's called DeFi, or decentralized finance, basically a whole new system without the big banks. But on the other side, you have the biggest bubble in history, a giant casino filled with scams and hype that's just waiting to pop. And you know what? The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Because even with all the risks and all the drama, crypto is undeniably weaving its way into the real world. You've got huge companies like Tesla buying it. You have entire countries like El Salvador making it legal money. The very banks that used to laugh at crypto are now rushing to offer it to their clients. It's not going anywhere. So here's the bottom line. The crypto story is still being written. It's balanced right on a knife's edge between being a wild gamble and a world-changing technology. And that really leaves the ultimate question, doesn't it? For you. Are you going to watch this all happen from the sidelines? Or do you take the plunge, knowing the risks, hoping to be a part of the revolution?